weekend, everyone. Sunday. Just want to take a look at all of the squeezes we have coming up. Right now in the daily time frame, we have a ton that are showing up on my watch list. It's all the way from AMAT to Amazon on this watch list over here. I got two side-by-side charts, both in the daily time frame. I have this one with the Ichimoku cloud and some Bollinger Bands, and some of the Ichimoku crossovers, as well as a 21 EMA. On this one, I just have the moving averages and all these other indicators that we like to look at. But I feel like it's better to see this as a whole, and then it gets a little crazy with Ichimoku cloud, so I kind of kept that separate. But as you can see, it's the same daily. It just has this cloud in here and some other indicators to show if it's in a bullish trend or not. Since we have so many squeezes, I want to talk about a couple of my favorite. First one, talk with AMAT. So AMAT, we got this nice about 6-7 day squeeze here, maybe more. Structure is intact. We have the 80 EMA or 21 or 34 or 50, so everything is stacked positively. If you look Friday, we tested the 34 but closed above the 21, so that was pretty bullish pushing to the end of the day. We had some nice volume come in here. I like this one as long as the market holds up. You know, it may dip back down and touch the 34 and consolidate a little bit more, but if 50 holds, that would be you can see 50 held back over here, nice little dip, and that was a sweet spot to buy in. Just keep in mind we are at all-time highs here, it looks like. On this chart, it's above the Ichimoku cloud, so that's bullish as long as it's trading above there. You know, might find support around this area because the cloud tends to act as support. Although, you know, once it tests new high, it could break and move higher. As far as targets go, let's just run some extensions here. So let's take this swing. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. Let's take this swing high here to the swing low. So let's check this out. So some targets would be obviously 120 would be the first target, 123, and then if it breaks to 123, the target would be 135 here, which this 135 would represent this same move here if this were to mimic the same extensions here. So keep an eye on this one. You know, if we break the 34, obviously going to likely test the 50 day. If it breaks the 50, then we could see more drastic sell-off. But so far, the 34 seems to be holding up. 34 and 50 seem to be holding up. So, you know, a good area maybe to start a position is in here. Just be careful around here. Once it breaks this 50% extension here at 120, you know, it may hit a little resistance at 124 and eventually move up, depending on the overall market. But the squeeze is looking nice here, so keep your eye on this one in the coming weeks. WDC, in the same industry, semiconductors. So this one I love too. We have a nice 8 or 9 day squeeze here. We have some bullish momentum. We have RSI trending up. We have all the same positive stacked EMAs here. The 21 has held despite all of the selling lately and all the pullbacks in the whole overall market. So it's looking good. I actually just want to take one thing off real quick. Edit studies. Where are you at? Just want to take these Parson reversals, these boxes, because they kind of clog up the chart. Anyway, so it looks like it wants to retest this 72, 73, or 73 area. If it breaks that, you know, it's onto newer highs. We can kind of see, get some price targets onto this. Let's try this one. We'll take this swing high, this swing low here. So looking at this one, you know, if we break this 73 range up here, you know, my next target up here is 79.80 to get to that level, so long as everything holds up. We do have earnings coming up. Like I said, some nice volume coming in here. Last month or so, nice volume, trading above the Ichimoku cloud. it looks like these Bollinger Bands are opening up to the upside a little bit, so that indicates a little bit further move, but that 73 mark has to be broken. So let's see how that acts. We had a ready aim negative bullish, but then we got the positive fire signal, so I'm not looking too much into this. But all in all, these EMAs are stacked positively. It's holding 21. I think a good entry point would be the 21. If it dips down to 34, even better. But if these levels break, obviously it goes down to the next EMA as support. So just keep an eye on this, but I'm looking for this one if the markets hold up into April, which it typically does in the last year or two. So let's see if it breaks 73, look for the 80 price target. If it breaks this 21 EMA of 67, it could probably head lower to the 65 range. But the squeeze is looking good here. Volume's looking good here. Indicators here are neutral. So let's keep an eye on this one. Next, let's look at Airbnb. Airbnb has recently, did IPO, which happened, I believe, in November or so. But it's been trading between this 220 range and 160 range, kind of back and forth, chopping around. I know it's a wide range. It's pretty volatile, but you can see how it's been trading in this range. Now we had some green 10x bars switch to red off the market sell-off. Now we're back to neutral. But looking at this, we have a nice 6-day squeeze here. Moving averages are stacked positively. It held at 34. Found support at the 50 here. Yeah, it broke down, but the whole over market broke down. That's why that came down. But if you remember, we looked at WC and AMAT. These levels all held pretty much. And a lot of the tickers make it down to the 100 or 200 moving average. And this one's more volatile because it is a newer company and whatnot. So in any case, I'm looking at this one. I do like the squeeze here. I like this Ichimoku cloud doesn't form yet because it's such a new ticker that it doesn't really form because this is a more forward-looking type of cloud here. We have a lot of squeezes on this 2-day, 3-day, or daily 2-day, forming a squeeze on the 3-day, some bullish momentum on the daily. If these levels can hold, I'm looking to retest 220, and then once it breaks 220 on the 256 here, if it should break this 50-day right here to 185, we're looking to test the 174 level, and then further is 162 if it falls apart. All in all, I like the squeeze here. A good entry if I were to get into this, which I may. I'm looking to get in at a 50-day or in between this if it does pull back. But if it breaks this 220, we're going to go higher, in my opinion. Next, I want to look at Tilray. So Tilray had this big spike back in here in the beginning of February. It was definitely news driven. I think they might have, because of a merger or something, maybe possibly. In any case, looking at this chart, we have a nice slingshot squeeze here with the yellows turning, so it went from bearish and changed positive to momentum, and then now we're in a squeeze. So that's a slingshot squeeze. We're holding, these EMAs are kind of like all congested here, but the 8's over 21, 21's over, they're all stacked positively still. It's holding the 34, and 50 is another level of support here. We have earnings at the end of April, but I'm looking to get this one maybe for a type move like this. On some good news in the wheat stocks. I think they're going to try getting banks to approve accounts for marijuana companies now, so keep an eye on that. But this one's really volatile too. I picked up some shares in this, more for a longer term play because I like the squeeze, and I think Tilray overall, if we could get this push up here again, that'd be fantastic from the levels we're at. Should we break this 20? So should we break this 50 level at 20? 2350, it may sell off and even test this down here. Right now I'm looking kind of bullish. It is trading below the Ichimoku cloud now because it crossed through. I had a feeling that it might follow this up as support. It didn't, but now I'm looking for it to act as resistance up here, maybe take a shot up here. The point of control of the 10-day 30-minute is the 26, so it's kind of hovering around there. But all in all, if the squeeze fires long, I think it could go up to see 42 at this 50% retracement and break. If it breaks 30, if it breaks this level of 31, you know, we could see 42 and higher. But just keep an eye on this one. This one looks like it's building momentum. The whole sector might catch a bid soon. Next, I want to talk about ASO. ASO. This one has been looking beautiful. All the EMAs are stacked, holding structure, and never broke below the 30. Never closed below the 30-day. Really, even with this market sell-off, we have earnings coming up this week. We have this massive long squeeze here. We have stochastics about to cross, RSI trending up. We got the ready fire signal here. You know, we got support at the cloud. This one I like a lot. I got back in the other day. I bought a vertical into the end of the monthly expiration for April. Let's see how it trades into earnings, and then maybe go from there. Last earnings they actually surprised, it looks like, and they had a nice little run up after that. I believe there's a 13% short interest in this as well. So I may sell my calls beforehand or sell half and see where we're at, just in case, you know, this does decide to break out on earnings. But I'll keep an eye on that. I do like this one a lot. It's one of my favorites just because of how long the squeeze is and how the structure always maintained during the even recent pullbacks. We're above the cloud here. The back D is even about to cross over, fire signal. This one all over is screaming buy to me. So I am in it with some verticals. I believe it's 25-30 verticals for next month. So keep an eye on that. And they're the 5 that I like the most, mainly because if you look here, they're in the squeeze and they are also bullish, which means 18. That 8 is above the 13 EMA too as well. So they're the ones I like. All these other ones are pretty good too. Some are in the, but these are kind of bearish, short-term bearish, I would say maybe. Some of these are in the daily and weekly squeeze, but you know, on the bearish side here. So keep an eye on these squeezes. They're the ones I like. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let's hope for see the Mr. Market can hold up next week and maybe retest those highs. We'll take a look at the ES real quick just to kind of give you a little indication. So the ES last week, you know, we retested this 3978 level. It's really it wants to get to that 4,000, but it just keeps failing. You know, it held the 21 EMA on Friday, touched 34, but ultimately had a nice little bit of bidders come in here. We have this positive squeeze here where it hasn't fired yet. You know, we have the positive momentum. Are a little overbought here, so I'm looking to see how this resides. Maybe it comes down, touches this 50-day again. Maybe it touches the 34, but if it doesn't hold this 50 level, the green line, you know, we're probably going to retest this 200, similar to we did back here. We break that 200, you know, it could get real ugly, you know, and come back closer to the, you know, down here. So we'll see how this plays out, but you know, I'm looking for it to test that 4,000 level. I think it really wants to touch it and either blow off top or just hit it and then roll over. It seems lately though these indices just want to make their new highs or break through, similar to the Dow, which just made all-time. So if you look at this one, you know, kept testing, kept failing, and then ultimately once it broke this 32,000, it just took off. Now that may happen in the S&P, it may not. S&P might roll over, but it just seems like it's been wanting to make these newer highs, and every time it does, every time it tests these new highs, we'll say, these high highs, it seems to pull back pretty strongly and then just retest them and then break out. So we'll keep an eye on this, but overall, I'm looking for another run into April similar to last year. I think we cooled off enough to put the call ratio actually moved up to 63, so people are starting to get short here. Until people get short, you know, at least left for them to cover if the bulls come back. So this was actually down to 4.4 for a while, which I keep an eye on that. So, you know, I would like to see this closer to 1, but this is actually in the last year or so, this is actually considered high in my opinion, given that it's been holding around like the 5s and 7s last few months. The Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq is the laggard of them all. You know, it's still trading at the 200-day EMA. We do have a nice squeeze here. RSI moving up. The stochastics look like it's going to cross bearishly, so you might retest this 200 level. But what I'm looking for is the Nasdaq to do similar to what it did. I don't have it on this chart. Let me see if I can do it on the weekly. Can't see it in this one, but if you look at if you go at the daily, last March it kind of made a low and it made almost like a higher W. That's what I'm looking for it to do, meaning that here comes up here, holds here, and then breaks through. So I'm looking for more something to do. Sorry, where's something to do like this, where it comes here. Sorry. Let me get that better for you. So we'll come here, and just little dip. And then that's what I'm looking for, where it comes down, makes this higher low here, and once it breaks this 13,250 level, it just, shoots back up to this new high, or tries to anyway. That's what I'm looking for it to do. The same thing happened last March into April as well, where it made this significant, pull back obviously because of COVID, but pulled down, made a higher high, and then ultimately never made that lower low and just kind of shot back up. So this 100 days seems to be holding for now. We'll keep an eye on that, but that's what I'm hoping for to come here. We have this nice slingshot squeeze here on this level. We're at resistance at the cloud. Trading below the 21 EMA, EMA wise is not looking good, but if this can hold, and then start making its way back up here, and it breaks through this level, it should be good. If not, the downside we're looking at the downside of about 11,842. But we'll see how the markets hold up going through this week, and we have some earnings coming up this week as well, and then next month is the big earnings month for bigger companies, so maybe we see a bigger run into earnings. So keep an eye on this and hope you enjoyed the video.